this next one is Lonzo Ball and Marcus Mariota. And the caption here, it's cut off, but it says the expectations were just too high.
Uh, yeah. Okay, good morning, afternoon, and evening. It's the guy you should believe in. Dropping heat like every season. Underdog like Willie Beeman. Classic like Dom singing. Blasting like bombs ringing.
Okay, this one's kind of interesting because you know who Lonzo Ball is.
Yes.
Okay. And you know who Marcus Mariota is, obviously.
Oh, that's Marcus?
Yeah, that's Marcus Mariota. If you go up, if you
be
pull to the top one, it's him in the Ducks uniform, so it makes more sense. He's more recognizable. But
That's a good one.
the caption here for that one. So this next one is Lonzo Ball and Marcus Mariota. And the caption here, it's cut off, but it says the expectations were just too high. And yeah, I feel like this is spot on. Marcus Mariota, I feel like Marcus Mariota was the first um dual threat quarterback out of college in that like transition period between he was that first quarterback in that transition period, I feel like between pocket quarterbacks and mobile quarterbacks that we were like, oh, this is the turn of the league. This is what quarterbacks look like now.
Yeah.
And there was so much hype and he was just so ridiculous at Oregon. I mean, you can go watch the tape. Like it was just ridiculous. Every game was a highlight reel. Same thing with Lonzo Ball. The shot was a little bit up, but
Yeah, I think it's obvious that out of probably, would there be another pro athlete that had higher expectations than Lonzo Ball? With the amount of hype that his dad has created for him?
with the media coverage, no. Well, yes. I think Zion had more hype behind him.
Ooh, yes. Yeah, that's a good one. And then maybe Shador might be have
I
super
don't
high
think I don't think it's hype. I think it's hate with Shador.
Yeah, I would argue it was the same for Lonzo. I don't think a lot of people wanted Lonzo to do great in the league.
I think I disagree. I think his youngest brother, I think LaMelo was the hate.
Yeah.
I think Lonzo, everyone was like, it's the second coming of Magic. He's going to go to the Lakers. It's a storybook, right? And everyone was hyped for that. And he's going to get to play with LeBron. It's going to be so good for him, yada, yada, so on and so forth. For LaMelo, it was like, this kid's doing it all wrong. He's doing it the weirdest way possible. In reality, it was just his dad. And then he got to the league. And I personally, like, you can ask Matt Kavanaugh and I had a long conversation about this when Melo was coming into the league. And I was like, look, I think he's a bust, but I hope he proves us wrong. And when he's on the floor and he's healthy, he's been fantastic. But unfortunately, he's ran into a lot of health issues. But what do you think of this comparison, Lonzo to Marcus Mariota? You think that's pretty accurate?
Yeah, I think the problem with Marcus Mariota is the transition to the NFL is just so much different because during the time where the Ducks were the Ducks, all the Nike uniforms and all that jazz, they were top of the world. I feel like
middle school for us, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was middle school. I think they were doing way too much. They were just doing so many things that were different. The amount of like screen passes and like how they would even like call their plays. And if you remember, it was just like such a bizarre offense that they ran. And I think it really, and I think that's where a lot of mobile quarterbacks thrive is in bizarre offenses. But I mean, you go to the NFL, it's few and far between that you have a very unique offense. Most of it is very set in stone, very, very, pocket passer is what you get done because there's so many better athletes all around in the NFL that you don't really need a mobile quarterback as much. But obviously, it still works with people like Lamar Jackson.
Well, I think you need a mobile quarterback, but it's not, if you're mobile in college, you can be saved by it all the time.
Yeah,
in the NFL, it doesn't save you, right? Because it goes back to the point that we've talked about a ton. Everyone in the NFL was the best player on their college team, arguably.
Yes.
And whereas in college, everyone was the best player on their high school team, and that's a large difference between high school and college.
It just keeps funneling. The more deeper you go,
and especially in the NFL because you're not. It's not an international league; it's America. and
Yeah.
that's it. You're pulling from this country's pool.
Yeah. So I think the expectations were definitely high, but it was also he
Were
would have
there
had
even
to go.
expectations though for Marcus Mariota? I don't remember because at that point I wasn't so deep into football. I was more deep into basketball at that point still. So were there high
Did you search
expectations
up
or
what his draft pick was?
I
Did
want
you
to say
search
he
up
was like
that?
one.
Yeah. Because he went to the Titans, right? And that's
Yeah.
my team. And we did kind of feel like we were getting like our next QB for the next 10 years with Marcus Mariota. The problem is going to the Titans, we don't have a very stellar, unique, flashy offense. We're
Se
very, what was
second
it?
overall.
Second overall. Yeah. But going to the Titans, we're not a very flashy team at all.
2015, bro.
Yeah.
Got drafted in 2015, 9 years ago. He's been in the league 9 years.
Oof. I forgot. Is he still in the league, huh? I did not know that.
Yeah, I think he is. I think he is.
Either way, there would have to be a very specific situation, a very specific team that Marcus would have had to go to for him to thrive. And it would have been, I mean, just look at Lamar Jackson. The Ravens rebuilt their entire offense around a mobile quarterback. They did not have an offense built for being mobile before that, and they
I
rebuilt it.
think it's too late for him to have success now.
Yeah,
I think he's just going to
100%.
end up being a
Yeah.
career backup. He
Yeah.
was drafted behind my guy, Jameis Winston.
Ooh, so that was the Jameis Winston hype, huh?
That was the Jameis Winston draft.
That was a good year of football. That was a great year of college football.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Good, yeah, good banter. Good banter.
I was just
You,
thinking through I was trying to see who was in this draft. Amari Cooper went 4 to the Raiders. Um, Todd Gurley. This was the Todd
ooh,
Gurley
Todd, yeah.
draft.
So this was a
Yeah.
really great year.
This was that big year. Um,
But yeah, when we're speaking about LaMelo, I think it mostly
Lonzo.
was. Yeah, if we're speaking about Lonzo, I think it mostly is his father, and that really hyped
Yeah.
those up. That really hyped him up. It's kind of the same
Well,
as.
he did play well. That's the thing though. Injuries have robbed him of his career
Mhm.
so far because he wasn't great in LA. The limelight was a little too bright, and then he went to New Orleans and had 2 really good years where he got his shooting form figured out and became a respectable shooter and was playing really well. And then he ended up on the Bulls, unfortunately. And then since then, it's just been injury issues and like his ACL injury that he kept re-injuring, or no, his meniscus it was that he kept injuring. He had to end up getting a cadaver, like it was a donor
A
meniscus.
cadaver.
That's how bad it was. So yeah, his I feel like it's just unfortunately been injuries. Marcus, it feels like it was playing
That's
that he
gotta
didn't live up
be
to.
that's gotta be the worst as a basketball player and you keep getting re-injured because really all it is, it like football, I get it. You get re-injured because you're out there, you're playing, you're supposed to be tough. Plus you have
Mhm.
the God, recognize it. Plus you have the other factor as people are tackling you. But in basketball, you keep getting re-injured. It's really just because you're just not taking enough time off. You're not like healing it as
But
much as
it's not even
anything
taking
should.
enough time off. It's the repetition. With football, it's collisions. With basketball, it's chronic injuries. That's the big
Yeah.
difference. It's because you're taking you even if you, it's the same thing with
But I
like
mean,
for
what
Zion
did yeah, I
specifically.
was gonna just gonna bring up
Think
Zion.
about because with Zion, he injured his foot. Why? Because he was too heavy.
Yeah.
So then he has to then
So
he
what did he
then he has
do? He
so he
ate
has to
three double cheeseburgers.
so he has to rest. So then he gets heavier and then he tries to recover. But the reason he got hurt was because he was heavy. So it's this thing of like trying to get back, at least in Zion's case, but it's similar with other athletes where it's like I
Yeah,
need with knees, because that's the biggest injury all the time in basketball. So it's like with basketball, it's like I should be playing so that I can exercise the knee and get it back to like back into shape, back to mobility, all those things, but I need to rest it. And so it's like sometimes with basketball, unfortunately, that first injury, people just aren't the same because they can't just ever return back to form. Like it just doesn't work again.
but with Zion, like, let's be honest, you have multitudes of millions of dollars. And
Zion, there's no excuse.
yeah, there's
Zion,
no
there's no
excuse.
excuse. Yeah,
Like,
no.
I understand the point was great, like getting heavier so you re-injure it, but for a man with the amount of bulk that Zion had,
Yeah.
if he would have just ate healthy and would have ate 3 meals a
Well, he's
day.
down in Nolens, bro. What do you
Yeah.
expect of him? What do you expect of him? That's the
Yeah, that's
worst
true.
possible place to be for him. The second worst place would have been Dallas.
Yeah. Where would he have gone to where there's no good food?
Fucking Boston.
Oh, you're gonna get a lot of Boston. No, because they got the harbor, so seafood's probably rampant up
Okay.
there.
He
It's
could have
got
came to Denver. I'll tell you that much. The
yeah,
food here
Denver.
is
Denver doesn't have like a significant like this is our food.
no.
So yeah, hey.
We're mid at everything. Like Tex-Mex, mid. Pizza, mid. Steakhouses, mid. There's nothing like that stands out here.
Yeah, if he went to Denver, he would have won a championship.
We probably would have. That
If
team's
he would
great.
have went someplace where the food wasn't so goddamn good, he would have won a championship.
Or he could have just went to the NFL and embraced the weight
Yeah, he could
and
have
been the greatest
transitioned.
left tackle ever. All right, let's move on to the next one. I'm Devin, that's Zane, and you're watching Buffet Sports. On this episode, we talked about basketball to quarterback comparisons. Let us know down in the comments if you agree with those comparisons. And you're watching Buffet Sports. If you want to see more of us and our show, you can catch us on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at buffet.sports. We post every day, if not twice a day. We're doing some schedule changes right now, but we do a comment show every Sunday. So leave your comments, love or hate. We need it both ways and we appreciate it. So, ciao, guys.
Ciao.